What's going on, guys? My name is Dan Davis and I'm the creative director here on DansTube.TV. Today I'm testing out the DJI Mic 2 and I'm testing out the range that we can get from this unit here. Absolutely love this system. It's built extremely well. Love the bag that you get. The case itself feels a lot more premium. Comes with the 2 microphones and then you have the receiver, which is plugged directly into the Osmo Pocket 3 right now. Love the aesthetic of the mics, the fact that they are see-through, the fact that it just plugs in via the top of the windshield, nice and easy to connect that up. Right now I've got the 32-bit float just to see how it goes. It's a very windy day, so we'll see how it performs. And I'm just going to test out the range. There's just a point over here that's about 100 meters away. And let's see how we go with this range, okay? I'll go down to this point over here. Might go a little bit further, we will see. And then I will come back. And theoretically, we shouldn't really have any issues with range. The 32-bit float should help us with any loud noises, peaking, any of the wind, anything like that that it might typically pick up on. Just gonna go around here. And we'll just see what the range is like when I get to this point here. So theoretically, should be able to hear me perfectly well from over here. It's very sketchy just leaving a camera system over there. But yeah, you should be able to hear me perfectly fine. Like I said, Google Maps said about 100 meters to this point. I was going past a few trees, so we might have some issues with it dropping out. Theoretically, no though. Theoretically, it should be fine. And let's go back now. Just make sure that no one gets close to the camera. Just get over here and then we will go with a different direction just to test it again a bit further. But again, theoretically, shouldn't have any issues with this. Should be perfectly fine with the range. And we'll get up a little bit closer. And we'll just see how this goes. Okay. So there we go. So that's a little bit of range there. Like I said, about 100 meters out to that point over there. Pretty decent test. You've got a lot of obstacles in the way. Very windy day, so there could be many factors that are contributing to the audio having some issues. Theoretically though, we shouldn't have any issues and it should sound flawless. Even with the wind, like right now, hello! The 32-bit float should make sure that the audio isn't peaking, even if I'm talking really loud into the microphone. Should have no issues with that, and hopefully that range test showed you what it's capable of doing. I'm actually going to turn the camera system around and we're going to go a different direction and just go around some houses here and see if it cuts out, because obviously you're going to have some interference. I'm just going to flip the camera around. All right, so I'm going to continue down this path here and I'm going to try to go around the corner so we have a house in the way and see if that affects the range. Again, theoretically, if we've got 250 meters of range, theoretically just around here, which would be under 100 meters, there is something in the way, there's some obstacles in the way, so maybe that will contribute to it dropping out or having some issues. But let's see, this is all waterlogged over here, and I need to go around. Birds are going crazy. All right, let me just get around here, guys. And then I can show you this. This is sketchy in my new shoes as well. Okay, so we should be good now. I believe you should be able to see me here. I'm just going to go around the corner and just see how we go with this range when there's some interference in the way. We will see what happens as I go. Very, very windy. Try to talk over the wind. Let me just see if I can see the camera. So I can still see the camera. I'm just going to poke around this corner and then come back and we'll see if it drops out at all. We will see how that all went. Okay, I'm coming back into range now, or into visual range anyway. Camera's still there, which is a good sign. Yeah, so that's probably maybe just under 100 meters, maybe about 100 meters again, but different kind of scenario with some walls in the way and a house directly in the way there. So we'll see how this all goes, see how it sounds, and we'll have to go through here. Let's see if I can cut through here. Yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are. Hopefully that's a good test to see what the range is like, to see how the 32-bit float goes. Yeah, hopefully just a general test for people who might want to test or who might want to get the microphone system for something where they're recording from range, you know. Very common where you might want to, you know, like record an interview, for example, but you want to have some distance, or you might be doing interviewing on the street, for example, where the cameraman or camera person's a bit further away. Maybe an example like this where you're doing some narrating and you're on an electric scooter, you know, whatever it may be. Something like this could be ideal because you've got the range, got the 32-bit float to ensure that you don't have any issues with the audio, you know, peaking. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thanks, guys. All right, so what I've noticed from the few tests I've done so far is when I turn my back to the system, that's where I find that the range can cut out. It's obviously trying to send a signal through my body. So that's something to keep in mind. Like the example would be if I'm back here and I'm walking towards the system, that's where you shouldn't have any issues. I did notice that occasionally it would kind of make funny noises if I was too far away or if it was struggling with range. Never disconnected though, never fully lost the connection. I just found that you've got to get that sweet spot. You've got to be mindful of everything around you. Walking towards the system is obviously the best way because I'm sending the signal directly to it. And this kind of range is ideal. Like even me going halfway up here should be perfectly fine. So just keep in mind like the scenario that you're in, the range, everything that's around you. Yeah, this kind of distance is pretty optimal. Got to be mindful when I was on the scooter as well, I was going relatively fast. My back was to it. I was going between obstacles, trees and whatnot. So, you know, 250 meters in an ideal world, but just keep in mind that probably, you know, keeping a realistic range around 100 meters is probably the best way to go about it. And in this scenario here where I'm walking towards it, should be sending a direct signal to the unit, and we shouldn't have any issues with range here. So yeah, just some thoughts after testing it a little bit. I find that, yeah, getting pretty decent range. It has never like fully dropped out from what I've seen, and audio quality sounds great. It just seems to kind of break up a little bit and kind of jump and cut a little bit if you get too far away, but that's why I wanted to test the range and really see what it could do. I think I put it through its paces. I think overall it did a really great job. I think you've just got to be hyper aware of, you know, where you're recording and how far you're away. Typically you would have someone on the camera system and they could have headphones plugged in and they could let you know, like thumbs up, yeah, range is great, audio sounds good, or let you know, no, it's cutting out, come a bit closer. For me, I had no idea until I came back and reviewed the footage there. And from what I can hear, the audio does sound great from all the different tests I've done. So definitely something worthwhile looking into if you want to improve your audio game. All right, so just another little audio test here. I'm gonna turn my back and see if it drops out at all at this kind of range. I'm gonna walk along this path, turn around and then walk directly towards the camera. Theoretically, should not be dropping out at all. There's a tree I'm going between now and I'm facing my back. So, you know, they're the kind of things you have to be hyper aware of, and that's where it's handy to have someone monitoring the audio levels. But now at this point, clear line of sight should be perfectly fine. And this is kind of the ideal scenario. Like this kind of range here, pretty good, you know, like especially if you are doing some street interviews, maybe you are doing some kind of tutorial stuff or whatever it may be, you know, like this kind of range is great. For me, when I'm doing my drone stuff, this is great, right? Because I can be away from the camera system, maybe operating the drone over here and have that distance, right? So I don't worry about the audio of the drone taking off or anything like that. So yeah, this would be a really good scenario here. And I would imagine the audio is sounding great. So hopefully that test went really well. And yeah, you'll get a chance to see how it all performed. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've got any thoughts, anything you want me to test in future videos, and I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.